everybody. I'm Tom Vassell.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas, everybody. My name is Z Garcia, and I hope you are having a wonderful holiday season. I forgot a hat. All right, I forgot a hat this morning.
Did you get a present or something?
No.
A Kickstarter came in?
No, don't talk to me about Kickstarter.
That feels like Christmas.
Yeah, in my heart.
Welcome to Board Game Breakfast, a show all about board games and the people who play them. We are joined by a host of contributors who are talking about all sorts of cool things. And if you're watching live, which you should, it comes out every Thursday morning. If you're not, we have a live contest. And I mean by live, it happens now, ends before the show is over.
Oh!
This is from Mythic Games, and this is about their new game that's currently on Kickstarter called Steam Watchers. Now, we talked about Steam Watchers yesterday, and the miniatures of this game are amazing, which it's from Mythic, so of course.
It's a given.
Yeah, so this is on Kickstarter right now. We have a link in the description below where you can go look at it. All you have to do to enter this contest is, oh, it's already on the screen, is email us at contest@dicetower.com, and in the subject line put Steam, and then in the body tells your address so we can get it to you, and your favorite faction or miniatures from the game. And we'll pick 2 random winners. Each of those winners will receive a pledge level for the game at its highest level. And again, you'll know before the end of this episode, so if you're watching this later, this is why you watch them live.
That's exciting. I would be all over this. Am I allowed to enter?
Z looks so young and youthful. What?
You know
That's how that works.
That's totally how I feel,
Board games de-age you. All right, well.
Play more fillers.
It's March. We're in the middle of, I don't know, the beginning of the season, I guess.
It's
time to talk about
season of what?
The news. Season of love. Alrighty, here we go. So the news.
All right.
So the biggest news from last week, for sure, for certain, was the fact that Plaid Hat Games left Asmodee. So this is a pretty big deal. That's Colby Dock there in the middle. He was, so quick bit of history, Colby Dock used to run a website way back in the day called Heroescapers.com, which was a Heroescape fan-based website. He made a little game that was kind of based on Heroescape called Summoner Wars. This game took off, did really well, and then his company did a little, did okay until he made Mice and Mystics with Jerry Hawthorne, and then the company exploded, hired employees. Eventually the company was bought by Philosophia, F2Z, and then that company was bought by Asmodee. So they've been working with Asmodee for a while, but he has now reacquired his own company back. Now, Asmodee is keeping their best-selling games, Dead of Winter, Mice and Mystics, and in fact they have the whole Adventure Books line, Aftermath and other things like that. But, and also Raxon and Stuffed Fables and a few other games. But Plaid Hat says now they're an independent studio, and Summoner Wars is coming back. I don't know how yet. They haven't really given a lot of details.
If they're reprinting, if they're reworking more content. But that one they kept, and they're back on their own. Oh,
and they also have the one that's like Emerson's game. Spectre Ops, yes, Spectre Ops, and several others. In fact, their new pirate game that's coming out is coming from under them. They also clarified that they will replace parts for people if they need them. Plaid Hat Games will replace any missing, misprinted, defective, or broken game pieces from any of our current games that were purchased new.
All right. The fact that you have to clarify that.
Yeah, that's how it is.
All right, cool.
But they said except for some titles. There's some titles that they are no longer falling in the current line, like Summoner Wars, Dungeon Run, BioShock Infinite, City Run, and stuff like that.
They're gone.
But they've announced quite a few things that they will do this. Isaac Vega, who's a big part of the company, also announced he's going off on his own. He's going to independently contract out for a while, although Jerry Hawthorne, the main designer, is going to stick with them for a while.
Okay.
We'll see where they go. It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Will other companies follow suit? Maybe not. I inquired about this with some, we had talked, maybe Days of Wonder, but Days of Wonder is actually owned completely and wholly. It's not like a studio within Asmodee, so Days of Wonder will not leave because it's just like a name underneath them. But will some of the other studios that have joined them leave? I don't know. This may just be a one-off, but I think this is not the last big news we'll hear in this sort of over this year.
All right.
In completely different news, Telestrations Upside Down. Do you know who designed this?
No, I have no idea what this is. I haven't heard of it.
You've heard of Telestrations.
Yeah.
But if you look down in the corner, game designed by Kane Klinko.
Oh, okay.
That's weird. I wouldn't have expected that.
Huh.
So anyway, you are now watching a sketch being drawn, trying to be the first person to guess it. The guide isn't the person holding the marker. The guide is the only one able to hold and move the pad, while a player on the other team holds the pen. So,
Okay.
the artist holds the pen and attempts to guess the word or phrase first. So
So
I don't-
while I'm holding the thing, you're moving the pad underneath me,
that's what it sounds like.
and I'm the one guessing, holding the pen, but also guessing.
Yes.
Okay.
That's interesting. I don't know why the word Telestrations is involved.
Because.
No, I
Cha-ching?
get
What
marketing
do you
and all
mean?
that, but I think people might. It doesn't seem like it has anything to do with Telestrations other than the fact that something's being drawn.
Sure.
That I was disappointed about, because the cool thing about Telestrations is that who cares? You're just flipping through it, and afterwards you laugh a lot. I'm assuming you'll laugh here, but this feels like it's a game.
Right.
We'll see. All right.
Hadn't heard about that one.
New expansion for Fallout Atomic Bonds Cooperative Upgrade Pack. Oh, you are actually interested in
I am
this.
interested in this because this, I believe, turns the game into a fully cooperative system.
That's true. It gives it a cooperative overhaul, and it introduces new scenarios and all kinds of extra stuff.
The biggest issue that anybody had with Fallout was the scoring at the end, in which you were just advancing these two factions, and it felt very underwhelming to sort of just have somebody win without a whole lot of control. Great story, the end kind of fell apart. Now it shouldn't matter. With this, it shouldn't matter that those things feel very uncontrollable. So yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm curious to see them turn in every scenario into a co-op scenario now.
No.
Bring it.
All right. Speaking of things Z likes, new
Pass.
upgrade expansion to its popular LCG, Arkham Horror, the card game called Return to Forgotten Age. It's designed by Matthew Newman, 1 to 2 players, plays in 1 to 2 hours, adds new supplementary content. It just seems like this is not just stuff, but it's upgrade stuff.
No,
Tools,
they've done
dividers.
this already.
Oh,
They've
they
already
have?
done this like basically for every cycle, I guess they call them. For every cycle that's come out up to this point anyway, they do this. They will do a return to box. Now they're up to the Forgotten Age was the name of the cycle, so now they're doing a return to the Forgotten Age where you go through it again with new cards, new challenges. Things take a left turn when before they took a right turn, and so you experience a story again with new baddies and blah, blah,
Oh, you
blah.
must like that then.
It's cool. It gives you a lot of replayability for a campaign and a story you've already experienced, which you could replay anyway, but now you'll see things you didn't before.
All right.
I'm glad they're still doing them.
Wonder Woman, all the world is waiting for you and the power you possess. All right, Challenge of the Amazons. This is from Ravensburger, a cooperative game designed by Prospero Hall, the same people who made Horrified and Villainous. And you are one of the heroes of the island of
Damaskinos?
Themyscira. I don't know how to pronounce it. And you're fighting one of 3 different villains, Ares, the Cheetah, or Circe. Now, here's the thing. I've already played the game, and a review of this will be coming eventually. Each of the villains you fight is very different.
Cool.
So it's a cooperative game, and the villains have different pieces, and they move and they attack kind of in different ways. Each of the villains has their own deck.
Okay.
So it's a pretty neat idea, and you're just working together. I have not beaten the game yet, but I'll talk more about it when I play it. One of the things, though, this game does try to eliminate the alpha player in games where each turn you play 3 cards face down. Before you play these cards, you have 3 face down cards and 2 face up cards. Everyone can look at the face up cards, everyone can talk about what everyone should do. Then you pick up all your cards and then you play 3 face down. You can't talk during that time.
Okay.
Once they're played face down, then you turn them up one at a time, and then you can talk about what you're going to do. But still, you're limited by the cards you played. So it's a
Cool.
good way to do communication because,
Sounds cool, yeah.
except, you might pick up the cards and go, oh!
I'll do whatever I want. Thank you very much. Don't tell me what to do.
Blue Orange Games is 20 years old in 2020. Convenient.
Huh.
Melody should get a job there.
That's cool. She's 20 years old, right. Yeah, this is neat. Okay, are they doing a massive celebration?
Yes, there's 16 new games.
Oh, come on. They couldn't figure out four
No,
more
I'm sorry.
garbage games?
There's 20 new games
There we
in 2020, but 16 of them were already displayed at the New York Toy Fair.
Oh, come on.
Fish
No, I'm
Club,
kidding.
Snip
That's
Snap,
great.
Starlink, Slam Cup, Droll, Cupcake Academy, Cross Clues, Talent Show, Rip Off, Piece of Pie. That's the one I want to play.
Piece of pie looks delicious.
I really want a piece of pie right now.
Is it-
Back. Okay. This one I'm really interested in, even though it's another roll and write, but it's Super Skill Pinball. It's from Jeff Engelstein, coming out in Q3. It's a pinball roll and write game, and it looks really neat. I mean, those pads that look like a pinball thing.
Right. Well, you're a big pinball fan.
I am a huge, I really like pinball. I wouldn't say huge because I meet people and I'm like, oh,
Sure. Then,
sorry.
Yeah, right.
I'm a casual pinball fan. How's that? So you'll pick a die result and move your pinball up with a matching number, and then I guess it comes down. Once you reach the lowest level, you use the flippers roll to send the ball back to the top. It could work.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Cool.
And I think there's 4 different tables. So this is probably the most excited I've been about a roll and write in
right.
years.
When they could put out new tables also later on and expansions.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Alrighty, Bill and Ted's Riffin' Time, a cooperative game coming from War Cradle Studios.
Okay.
This combines a mix of miniatures from Socrates and Napoleon to the former President of the United States. You don't have to say that. You can just say President. They're still called, anyway, of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. So this is obviously coming out now because there's the new movie coming out this year, which we still have not seen a trailer for.
Oh.
But I am irrationally excited about the movie.
Really?
Bill and Ted's like one of my favorite movies. It's so stupid. Actually, Bill and Ted 2 I like better than the first one because board games are in it.
Right.
It's still one of my favorite scenes from any movie where they
Playing
challenge
against
death to battleship. So stupid. All right, anyway, I'm excited about this, hoping it's good. You know, this is definitely, you'll notice as we're going through, this is the year of IPs.
Oh,
They've been announcing
We're
them
there.
right and left.
We are there.
And speaking of which, Godzilla. All right, this is Tokyo Clash. This is a 2 to 4 player game where you'll play the different people fighting to be the biggest monster in Japan. Now, this is from, I do not see the company on here, actually. You have your own deck of cards unique to the kaiju you control. You'll throw trains and tanks at the opponents. This almost sounds like King of Tokyo.
Yeah, right.
But-
But there's no dice. It's a card game.
Yes, that's true.
Okay.
And you get energy, which gives you permanent enhancements to your abilities. I know.
Okay.
It's not from Yellow. Anyway, it looks cool. And this is what I would want a Godzilla game to be. Not the ones we've seen before and all kinds of weird stuff.
No.
Just walk through and punch other monsters.
Looks cool.
Pan Am. This here is a 2 to 4 player game, 60-minute game time, where you're trying to outbid rivals for lucrative landing rights. This is based on, well, Pan American Airwaves. You know, this is the like 60s, 70s. You know, there's traveling.
So this is an IP because that's their
Sure,
logo.
it's based on Pan Am.
We are scrambling to pick up any intellectual property we can
no
at this
kidding.
point.
Like, do you have an intellectual property? There's this movie no one watched. I'll take it.
What?
All right.
Pan Am?
The next one is not an intellectual property.
All right.
Oh, the Godzilla game is from Funko. Sorry, Funkoverse.
Cool.
Which
Cool.
really puts me on board now. This one's not one. Bear Down. This is from Amigo, the original name I'm not going to pronounce. And each player is a bear trying to catch salmon on a riverbed that leads to the waterfall, but salmon jump up the fall. And
Yes, they do.
then you'll catch them. So this looks a lot like Niagara.
It does, yeah. The drop off, yeah.
You push over the edge and then you lose your holdings. I wonder if this is a reprint of Niagara or a reworking of it.
Well, the
'Cause you're
fish,
collecting-
it must be a reworking because the fish wouldn't, no, the gems didn't move up closer to you. They were just sort of along the river.
Right, but you were jumping on, grabbing the gems before you fell off the edge
Yeah.
of the waterfall. Here, you're grabbing fish, not trying to fall off the edge. The fish are jumping up on. Huh, I wonder.
It might be. It might be.
Back to IPs.
All right, what do we got?
Scooby-Dooby-Doo. A reprint of Betrayal at House on the Hill, but Scooby-Doo, Betrayal at Mystery Mansion. I love Scooby-Doo, but I don't know. This one seems a little stretchy for me even. I like the theming of this, but the whole thing about Betrayal was all these horrific things that happen. Is that going to happen in Betrayal? It's not spooky in Scooby-Doo.
It'll be silly. I'm guessing the things will be silly.
Yeah, but
right?
how does one of you become a traitor and then destroy the rest at the end?
Maybe they reworked that.
Well, Betrayals at Boulder Gate, I would say half the scenarios ended up where there wasn't a
there you
betrayer,
go,
so I
right.
would assume maybe the same
But
thing.
maybe the
here.
idea is, the bad guy is disguised as one of the.
Well, I'm going to get a
Scooby-Doo.
copy of this, so.
I have. Is it possible to have negative interest in something? I have
25
negative
new
interest
haunts
in this.
based on popular episodes, so I guess you'll know what will happen.
Ugh. What's next?
No, it says one player. Oh, I see. Okay, never mind. It says here, when you find enough clues to learn what's really going on, the haunt starts, and one player will switch sides to play the role of the monster. All right. Burgle Brothers 2.
Okay.
The Casino Capers. Did you ever play Burgle Brothers?
Yes, a long time ago, and only once, I think.
Yeah, Burgle Brothers was essentially Ocean's 11, the board game, where you had a bunch of people go in and you had to work cooperatively to avoid guards and steal stuff and get out. This is the same thing, but now it's a sequel, basically. It's, now you're
13.
taking down a string of casinos during the day. You have to. It says you're still working together to go through a building without getting caught, but nearly every other aspect of the game has been revamped. So you have gear, have a new toolkit, new rooms with crazy and challenging effects, and finales to ensure each game concludes with a big twist ending.
Cool.
I don't know how you can make a twist ending for a board game, but
Oh, that's neat. The first one was an interesting game, so a sequel's cool.
the Asdor awards, these are kind of like France's Spiel des Jahres awards,
Right.
have
The
been announced.
Ace of Gold.
Is that what it means?
Yes.
Okay. So the main one was Orflam, which I've not played from Studio H. Have you?
No,
Even heard of
never
it?
even heard of it until I heard about this news.
And then, so that's their main one that
Right.
won. And then Res Arcana won the expert category, beating Gloomhaven, It's a Wonderful World, and Root.
Yeah.
That's very
Yeah.
impressive.
Correctly impressive. Yeah.
If you had asked me to pick the one to win, I would not have picked that one. I like it, but wow.
You would have been wrong.
And the children's one is Dreamcatcher, in which you catch dreams and then horror nightmares occur. No, that's not
That's
it.
a Scooby-Doo game. All right, cool.
Speaking
They
of
pick
awards,
good stuff. They do.
the Toy of the Year award from the New York Toy Fair is Pictionary Air, which beat Villainous, Funkoverse, Heist, Ms. Monopoly. Who's nominating these things?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the fact that Ms. Monopoly was nominated almost invalidates the awards. It really does. But anyway,
But Pictionary Air is cool.
have you played it?
I've seen it being done.
I got it, and I'm not happy with it
Yeah?
currently. Because for it to work, your device that you are using has to be hooked up to the TV somehow.
Okay, right.
And I found that to be a pain. Running an HDMI cable or wireless.
You don't have to be hardwired to it, do you?
Well, you
from
got to
like the
find
wand
some
or
way
whatever?
to show it on the TV.
Okay, right.
So the best way to do that is hardwire, or if your TV just reads off your phone, which is not every TV. If you have Apple TV, it will work.
I thought it was like a I don't know how you're doing it, but I thought it was like a.
It's an app, but that app doesn't just magically go on your TV.
But I thought you played like on a PlayStation where you had like the wand thing and you would draw in the air. No.
Well, I guess if there's a PlayStation version of it,
Oh, that
I
must
just
be
bought
what- that must be what I've
the
seen.
normal one, I guess.
Okay. It is cool. It's a neat thing. Yeah, it's got a technical element to it, but it's cool.
Yeah, just for me, it hasn't worked
For
out
young
yet.
people, it's great.
Thanks. Stonemaier Games released their behind-the-scenes stakeholder report. The biggest thing is that Wingspan sold almost 300,000 copies in 1 year. And I'm assuming it has passed that then, because
Right.
it's already 2 months into this year. And that passed almost Scythe, which was their all-time one. Revenue, $12.8 million. Of course, that's revenue, realizing there are expenses. And they're going to be becoming more digital games for the stuff in their catalog.
Cool.
You can go online and read the whole report. Bonfire. This is a new Stefan Feld game coming out.
Ooh, that looks cool.
Originally, it was in South America, but now it's been moved to a fantasy world where you're gnomes on a planet wanting to bring the life-sustaining bonfire, which has been extinguished through human intervention, back to life.
Oh, the filthies.
You have to convince the former guardians of these magical fires to make offerings to return to their old places of work and to solve tasks. You have puzzle strips, 6 different action options and different numbers. It looks very Feldian, but we haven't seen a Feld game like this in a while, have we?
That's true. This makes me think of Trajan the most, where I'm seeing like 3 different things that all look completely
that board
unrelated.
looks very Aquasphere-ish, but yes.
Aquasphere is the other one I'm thinking of. Yes, Aquasphere and Trajan.
Hey, if it's
Trajan
a return
Sphere.
to that kind of game, I'm coming around on these, and I like to play this one.
Yeah. Plus the theme makes a lot of sense.
All right, that's the normal news. Let's jump to Kickstarter.
I just need a bloopers reel for this. Because let's be legit, like, it never goes according to plan. Never.
Hello, fellow gamers. Dice Tower West is here. I'm so excited, but I will actually not be going, which is kind of sad because I live on the West Coast. But I will actually be on the East Coast this weekend at PAX East. So I hope to see anybody there who couldn't make it to Dice Tower West. And I hope that everybody who is going to Dice Tower West has an amazing time. Like, play a game for me, okay?
Featured this week, we have Chronicles of Crime, the Millennium series by Lucky Duck Games that takes 1 to 4 detectives and asks them to choose a time period to solve a mystery for 60 to 90 minutes, as this time you'll be investigating the 1400s, having access to hidden visions that give you clues to the past and future, as well as a cute little pupper to track down those foes. While in the 1900s, you will immerse yourself in an escape room style adventure. And the 2400s blasts you into the future, allowing players to have cybernetic enhancements to gain a foothold in this detective case. A single time period like this starts at $30. Speaking of time periods, let's move over to the most apocalyptic time period with Steam Watchers by Mythic Games that challenges 2 to 5 clan leaders to search the frozen earth for steam vents, as players will be fighting over those precious resources for 60 to 120 minutes, all while trying to avoid succumbing to the infectious bane and investigating where geothermal plumes might erupt from the earth. In the simultaneous action selection game that has a scenario-based gameplay and relies on players to strategically maneuver their troops across the board to gain footing. Now, this cool game starts at $89 and certainly reminds you why you should be recycling. Next, we go deep in this space and try to find out why we've all been placed on the Ark, The Awakening, by Skyport Games, as 1 to 4 aliens will search the dark corridors of the Ark, fending off hostile attacks and trying to solve the mystery as to why they've been placed there for 30 to 90 minutes in this modular worker placement game that changes by the flip of a tile, or perhaps the betrayal of an ally. This cryogenic space adventure starts at $37. And lastly, we have Viscounts of the West Kingdom and Tome Saga by Garphill Games. That is in the last of a trilogy, giving 1 to 4 Viscounts, who are usually thirsty for control, the final opportunity to gain the favor of the people for 60 to 90 minutes, as players will be using rondel movement and deck building to collect sets and place buildings. Now, this third wheel starts at $52. On to honorable mentions with Ludo Cherry stylish tabletop shirts and skirts, where designer chic meets tabletop nerd in this Kickstarter that not only makes you better dressed, but gives you a conversation opening to talk about your tabletop adventures to all the normals for $46. And finally, we have Meeple Circus Giant by Surf and Meeple Collectors, because nothing says ultimate dexterity gain like toppling over wooden pieces that would take out a small dog. This giant-sized circus starts at $99.
Thanks so much for joining me this week, guys. If you want to know more about any of the Kickstarters that you saw here today, then join me at gloryhound.com, as we will talk about all of these Kickstarters in depth and if we would back them or not. I promise you, you can watch it at Dice Tower Con, so I will see you all there. Other than that, I will see you guys all next week.
Showdown.
All right, well, I'm glad you're all feeling like that, because today is a word game type
Oh,
thing.
disgusting.
Nothing says battle like words.
Hey, if you you ever have
Watch
an
your
idea
mouth.
for a game, please email to me at tom@dicestar.com.
Please email him.
This is a game I like a
what
lot.
do you got?
So this has 2 halves.
Yeah.
The answer to every question here is the name of a game.
Okay.
All
Okay.
the names of the games are fairly well-known games, so it should be that hard.
Okay.
But here's an example of what the first half will be like. So this is a sentence: playing games is more fun than doing homework. And so what you're going to be doing is you're going to be looking for the name of a game that is in that sentence. Now this one doesn't have the name of the game and it has a common word in. For example, playing games is more fun than doing homework. You see the word hand in there.
Okay.
So I'm going to show you a sentence, and you need to find the name of the game. The first person to shout it out gets it.
Oh.
And
Wow.
it'll just be basically like that, made up of multiple words, but they're always next to each other.
Yes.
I hate this so much already.
Are these all single word games? Or can
I'm
you
not
tell us
answering that
All right.
question. All right?
Oh my goodness, Tom! You know I hate this kind of stuff. I hate you so much. The only thing that would be worse is
I like many precious stones, but I find topaz ultimate.
Azul.
Wow.
These are it.
Seriously? You hate this and you
Dang
got it
it.
like right away.
I do hate this. Who would put the word topaz in there unless they needed to? Think about it, guys.
I know, but I still didn't get it.
That's correct. Azul.
Garbage.
All right, next one. I found it interesting that Castro, yes, the one you're thinking of, was sitting in my kitchen.
Trois.
Yes.
Woo! We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
Troy is.
So hold up, we got to talk about this. Castro was sitting in your at your kitchen table.
There's not many words that end in TRO, okay? I looked.
Wow.
Disgusting. Let's move on. You and I got to talk.
I only ask that you take meticulous care of your nephew's pet grizzly bear cub.
Oh, boy.
Oh, goodness.
Kemet.
Yes.
Woo!
Kemet is correct.
I think I'm too tired for this.
Split between 2 lines, making it even trickier.
Got it. Oh, jeez. Okay.
Don't worry, there's only a few more of these, and we switch to the second half.
All right.
I hope
All
it's
right, all right.
unscrambling letters. That's the only thing I'm hard.
It was an odd
with.
assortment of things Paul had packed: a pile of wash rags, a guitar, gin, and a ham sandwich.
Oof.
Targi.
Woo! Look at that. That's a twofer right there.
That is a tie, yes.
I'm close to you heard it first.
I'm doing great at this.
The Doppler effect means Z gets it.
Doppler.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, you do. But we're not moving.
I know.
All right, there we go. Targi. All right, I think this might be the last one here. I'm not anti-church, but I am someone who likes to
Teach you.
listen to, yes, teach you.
Wow.
That is correct.
I was gonna say I still didn't see it. Okay. Man. I
Bam,
feel
son!
like
I'm so glad I put an hour to put those together for a whole.
I feel like these are really hard and we're just really good.
All right,
I've just got to say.
here's better than that.
All
Now
right.
I'm just going to show you a single picture, and what game does that represent?
Oh.
Do we
Pretty
have an
simple.
example one or no? We're
No.
just going right to it.
No. I mean, but it's just a single picture. Just
Okay.
a picture I found on the internet
All right.
that I thought represented a game.
All right. Target.
Gotcha.
Oh, no.
Okay. Here we go.
Presidents versus aliens.
Cosmic Encounter.
Yes, Cosmic Encounter was on the board.
I got a point!
The most
Finally, a game that
disturbing-
wasn't garbage.
I don't want to see your
Wow.
Google search history right now.
No, I actually did. I just did a search for shaking hands with an alien, and there was like 6 different presidents. Aliens. All right.
I mean, they're all real.
This next one's easy, so I'm
honestly.
listening for the first
All
person.
real.
Here we go.
Root.
Z.
Oh, it's because he's closer.
No, it is
right.
not.
It's
All
because
right,
he's closer.
next one.
Twi struggle.
Yes, Twilight Struggle.
Oh, goodness gracious.
You should have ended with that. You can't do better than that.
That is amazing. I take my hat off to you,
That's
sir.
good.
All right,
That's
good,
really
because that's the last good one I
All
got.
right,
All right,
okay.
here we go.
Okay.
Next one.
Eclipse.
Roy.
Yay!
Next one.
Monte Carlo?
Where is that?
Gloomhaven.
Doesn't matter where it is.
Hotels?
Okay. Then
Marina? No.
Is it a
Havre.
harbor?
Yes, La Havre.
Dang it.
Because it's a harbor.
I was like really thrown by that thing because it looks like a rondelle. I was like,
Yeah.
wait, it must be a
It
rondelle
doesn't
game.
look like a harbor to me. It just looks like a little pier.
It doesn't really look like a harbor at all.
Yeah, I would have thought like shipping for a harbor.
All right, here we go. Ready?
All right.
Wingspan?
No.
No, something. Sunset. Something sunset. I'm trying to think of a game with sunset in it. Sunrise.
Rising Sun?
Yes, Rising
Oh,
Sun.
man. Should have just kept my mouth shut.
I can see the sun is rising,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Come
yeah.
on. I didn't need your help on that
You
one.
needed my help.
Ready?
Too many bones?
Yes, Too Many Bones.
Oh, yeah.
And the last one.
Don't stop.
Can't stop.
Can't stop. Yeah, you
I
said
said
it.
can't stop.
That's not right.
Oh.
Go.
Yes,
It
go.
says don't stop.
All righty. So, Roy has 3, Mike has 4, Z wins with 7.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's good
You
stuff.
actually
Nice.
win with Twilight Struggle. That was fantastic.
That was awesomely hilarious.
So I'll just do the last section next.
The last section's brilliant. Yeah, I mean the beginning was fine, but I just on scrambling words, especially like letters to make a new word. Oh, my brain just goes, no, I'm leaving. Just packs up and goes.
Yeah.
You still won.
Yeah,
That's
you
great.
did.
That's hilarious.
All right, let's do some more contributors. Don't forget we have a contest at the beginning of the episode if you missed it.
Happy breakfast, everyone. This week I'm going to talk to you about The Crew and why the hype around it might be problematic for some at least. Now, it's a 3 to 5 player cooperative trick-taking game, so that's sort of the twist on it. It does play with 2 with I'm going to say a semi-dummy player. It's not a complete dummy player. I think it works a lot better than most dummies. So that's a good sign for the game. So yeah, it does actually work with 2, but it doesn't really work with brand new players in terms of trick-taking experience. So if someone's played a trick-taking game where they know, you're playing these cards trying to win the trick for yourself, they understand how that all works. The Crew almost expects you to know that. Now, the rulebook teaches you things and everything like that, but actually when you're in the game, you're looking at only your cards and thinking, right, if I play this, they'll be able to play that. If you don't have the experience of the trick-taking genre, you're just looking at a hand of cards and really you're like, well, why would I ever need this colour if the mission is saying we need to win the 5 of blue? Why do I need a pink or a green? The experience that I had where someone was new to trick-taking was, it didn't drag the experience down because that sounds really bad, but it just meant that it was a bit of a struggle for both myself and the player involved because they were having to learn a genre with a twist on it. They weren't learning that core experience. Anyway, that's The Crew, and I'm Oliver East, signing out.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, we are Ryan and Bethany,
From Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
and today we are joined by our daughter. She's going by the name of, what is your name again?
Entrepreneur!
She is an
because
on-
I am, what's it called? A starter of businesses of reviewing games.
Well, there you go. All right, so what is something you are looking forward to this spring to be healthier?
Oh, right. So going outside, playing in my tree, running around, sometimes feeding the birds seed, getting some exercise
Very smart.
outside because it's cold.
That's right. Now it's cold. It's going to get warm up though, and then outside lots. All right, so Mighty Monsters. This is a game where you are kind of playing as the monsters. You're going through this castle, trying to fight through all these guards to get some treasures. All right, so what do we think about this one, Entrepreneur?
I thought that. I forgot what I thought about it.
Well, I'll give you a clue.
That really does give insight to our thoughts about this game.
It's a very forgettable game. There's a lot of games that do similar things to it, and that do it much better. This is a pass for us.
Yeah, Entrepreneur liked the artwork, right? You like the pictures on the cards?
Fancy. I named one of them Fancy. And then there's Handsome, and then Junior Handsome, and then Junior Fancy, and then there's what's it called? All right, Junior Bow.
So she named some of the characters. That's the best part of this game, is playing with her.
The game isn't bad. I just want to give that caveat. It's not bad. We just felt like that there was other games that did it better. Like, a lot better.
All right, so if you had to choose between Mighty Monsters and basically anything else, choose anything else.
Oh my gosh, it's not that terrible.
We'll see you next time, guys. Have a happy and healthy breakfast.
Okay,
Bye.
Hello, my name's Dan. This is my clone, Daniel, and we want to talk to you today about a board game called Godtear, which is a two-player skirmish game from Steamforged Games. Now, this is a game that reminds me a lot of Warhammer Underworlds, which is one of my top 20 games of all time. However, this is much better than Warhammer Underworlds, in my opinion. There's no deck building for a start, so not only do you not have to spend ages coming up with a perfect deck, you're also not in that kind of arms race that sometimes deck building and collectible stuff can get you into. And also, the rule set, it's a lot more simple, and it means you can learn it easier, you can teach it easier. However, this isn't a simple game when you're playing it. This is quite a deep game, quite a strategic game, quite a tactical game, isn't it? So when you're playing it, you're having a lot of fun without the overhang of trying to work out rules and things like that. In short, and we can't really explain the whole game within the confines of this segment, you are playing over 5 rounds, and each round you're going to win a varying amount of points. So 1 point in the first round, 2 points in the second, 3 in the third, then back to 2 in the fourth, and 1 in the... So different rounds have different kind of value to you, so you've got to strategically decide which rounds you're really going to push to win. And set yourself up to win later on in the game. And you basically, each round you've got the kind of tug of war thing where you're pushing this marker up and down a track by doing things like planting your banner in objective hex things, or killing followers, or killing the other person's champions and things like that. It's a great game. I can't emphasise how much a great game this is, and how disappointing it is, really, for Steamforged, I'm sure, but also for people who really love the game, that this seems to be going completely under the radar. I love it. I really love it. But that's probably enough for me. I mean, how do you feel about it? Yeah, it's all right, yeah. Oh, so there you go. We're in agreement. Check it out.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to 20 Questions. Woo! I am going to pose a game title for you. You are all going to give Tom the questions he may ask me about the game. Yes, no type questions, of course. And he will only be able to ask what you post in the comments. So start throwing some suggestions in there. He's got these poker chips to go through, 20 of them. You, of course, may flip them if you want to every time you ask a question. The ones are nothing, as we know. The negative ones will eat up another question blindly.
Hopefully another negative one.
Hopefully. And then the 5s will get you a letter.
Which is really how we win the game.
Possibly another letter.
Because without these letters,
one of these questions.
Without these letters, we would never win.
This is true. Maybe what I should
Scott
do...
wants to point out we're still undefeated at this game.
They are. I am aware of that.
It has to be a yes or no question. And we don't ask questions that are about the letters or number letters in the word. That's kind of outside the scope of the game.
No cheating, y'all.
All right, Scott, first question. Does the game have a board?
Yes.
That is a normal 1-pointer. All right.
Uh-huh.
Ross says, does it play more than 2 players?
Yes.
All right. So 2-player or more with a board. Should you wear a hat while playing this game? Twice as Nice Dice asks, does it have deck building?
No.
That was very specific. I feel like you watched our show yesterday. Oh, no!
All right.
I can't ask, is it by a famous designer? It's very subjective. Oh, that's a good one, Jonathan. Was the game, you're not going to know this, we'll see. Was the game a Spiel nominee? What a great question. That's really hard to answer.
I mean, I really, really doubt it, but... no, it has some awards and honors listed here, but it is not a Spiel nominee.
Oh, no, I lost that clue. All right, next clue. This is a great one. Actually, hang on. Where was it? All right, Brett says, if I asked you to play this game right now, assuming the show's over and all that jazz, would you say yes?
Sure.
Huh. All right, that eliminates about 80% of the games in existence. Oh, I can't. Oh, man! That's 3 of the negatives. All right.
Oh, you're going to need some help.
Is the playtime longer than an hour? Says Mentat.
No.
You want it to be Dune. All right. My word.
What were you saying about an unbroken streak of wins?
That's why you never say that sort of thing. All righty. Let's see. Oliver says, does it have wooden pieces?
I don't think so. No.
Well, it does narrow it down a lot. Where's my 5-pointers? Are probably underneath all those. Is it, Shua says, is it in the top 200 ranked games on Board Game Geek? It lists the ranking at the top.
No.
It's not in the top 200. That ain't good. Where's my letter? I need one letter. Let's see here. All right. Is it a party game? Says a fatal paper cut.
Yes.
Well, that narrows it down considerably. Still no letter. But it's a party game with a board. A lot of party games don't have boards. So Z would play it, but he plays a lot of party games, so that doesn't narrow it down.
By the way, a board, I will say, is fairly suggestive.
I understand that, but it means it's not just cards.
Sure. There is a board in it.
That's fine. I understand that. I'm not going to... let's see here.
Finally, I shall have your soul.
Jose, is it in the Dice Tower library?
I don't know. What kind of garbage question is this? How am I supposed to know that, Thomas?
Well, tell me the game, and I'll let you know it's in the Dice Tower library.
I would assume it is, man. I don't know. I think so.
That's the question we asked. We're flipping it. No! Where are my 5-point chips?
That was a garbage question. I can't give you an answer to that. Ask something else. I don't know if it's in there. That's not. If I can't
Ben
answer,
says,
it's just this one. This one again, because that's. I can't tell you. If
fine.
It's in there.
Is it a word-based game? Like, if you were categorizing it as a party game, would you put it in the word category?
It's a writing. There's writing in it.
Except that next question. It's from Beef.
Oh, snap.
Does it
Were
have,
any cows harmed in the making of this game?
no, his name is Beef.
Right. So
Okay.
I assume he's against beef.
Does it have dry erase components?
It sure does.
No! This has been the worst luck. All right, so by deduction, of the 4 we have left, we have lost one of the 5 chips for sure. Because
You've lost several.
Does he have a quote on the back of the box? No, not. All right.
There's no writing in that game, by the way.
All right. I don't think this will work, but I'll ask it. Ross says, is it social deduction?
No.
Give me a letter!
Here we go. The letter you have unlocked is And I have a
that does-
question for you.
That does eliminate a few games.
All right, here we go. Tom, are you familiar with the game Scythe?
I've heard of it.
How many expansions are there for Scythe? I'm not counting promos. These are expansions with UPC codes.
Well, there's the first two factions. There's the airships, there's the Fenris, and there's the modular boards. Those are the four that I know of. I don't know if you're counting the metal miniatures. Those, I'm going to say they're not. 4.
There are 5.
Are you counting the metal miniatures?
I'm not. Invaders from Afar.
Yeah.
Wind Gambit.
Yeah.
Rise of Fenris.
Yes.
What was the other one you had?
The modular board.
Modular board.
Yeah.
And then Encounters.
Oh, that stupid deck. Sorry, guys. Forgot about the deck. Oh, but you all said 3 anyway, so whatever.
Oh, it's so close. I can taste
I know. Let's see here.
Shall be made whole again.
Give me the questions. Stop guessing the numbers. Yes, I know there's an encounter deck now.
Yeah.
I have the encounter deck too.
I know. You should have gotten it.
It's one of those things that you grab, throw in a game, and forget that you
You
even
do forget it was its
you
own
ever
thing.
bought it, right?
Absolutely. And I wasn't trying to get you, but I got you.
Come on, this
I was
is
trying to
easy,
get-
says War Eagle. Everything's easy till you're on the spot. Did I mention I'm hungry? All right. All right, Andrew, I'll ask this. I don't know this. I don't want to ask that. It narrows it down. Doesn't narrow it down for me.
Mm-hmm. I would ask.
Oh, Beef, that's a good question. Is it a team game? Team v team rather than player v player?
No, it's not team versus team.
That matters a lot. That actually eliminates a lot of party games. Another letter!
Here we go. Where it stops, nobody knows.
Well, actually, we
Nobody!
I feel like
Oh, there it goes. N.
I-N. I really want to pick that stupid game from Matt Leacock because we were talking
Here
about
we
it
go,
yesterday.
Tom. Are you aware of the Mask trilogy from Kramer and Kiesling?
I am.
It has 3 games in it.
It does.
Officially. Which one's the newest?
Mexico.
That is correct.
Trying
Cal.
to pull the Regis thing there. That is correct.
Cal came out in 1999,
Then
Java
Java.
right away in 2000, and then Mexica in 2002.
And what's interesting is when Mexico came out, it was my lowest ranked one of the 3, and it's since reversed, and now it's my favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I've got another letter for you. Why?
Okay. Well, that cancels out Nitwit, which would have been funny because we were just talking about this the other day because it's on sale for like $3 online or something.
$2 or $3?
It's
Yeah.
really cheap.
Something like that.
All right, so I-N-Y or Y-I-N or why am I? Or
Why are you? Yeah.
Why am I Gabriel? Why am I?
Okay, you've got 2 questions left. What are you going to do with them? Pass? You got it. Okay, fine. I'll let you ask.
All right, well, I'm not guessing until the final one. So
If you guess until at only the final moment, you only get 1 guess.
that is true, but
You
I
can use these as
I
guesses.
got 1 full guess first. Then I got 2 answers. Okay, fine. No one's giving me any more questions, so I'm going to have to guess a game. So we'll guess. Say anything.
Yes.
How'd you know I was gonna
Why?
How'd you know I
The
was gonna get-
stupid why came up.
Give me another letter!
Okay, you got it. G. There. I'm not spitting.
Yeah, the Y is the one letter that gives that away.
Oh, no.
That canceled a lot of games have I and N in for sure.
And again, the board question, it has a scoreboard.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, it was like when you asked the board, like, ooh, people are going to go way down the wrong rabbit hole here.
No, but
then the party answer brought you back.
Well, the party answer helped out a ton.
Yeah, when it's like, yes, it's a party, you were like, oh.
Well, as soon as you said it's not in the top 200, people, oh, party. Because there's almost no party games in the top 200 because BGG has a bias against them. All right.
You guys are still undefeated. It sickens me, but I shall consume Tom's soul eventually.
We got some more contributors and then come back and see who won the contest. Here we go.
This is Roy Candy, and this is Immersed, a new segment I'm doing here on Board Game Breakfast about upgraded components that can make your game feel more immersive. So these are awesome components for Marvel Champions. Let's get down to the table and take a look. And so what you have here is this is your little hero board that you can flip over here to show when you've taken your hero action. So here's Peter Parker, so he can use one resource. You can flip this, and then also you can, of course, flip your hero over, and you can track the amount of damage. You have like 1s and 5s, which can also be flipped to 10s, and the 1s can be flipped to 2s, and then 20s that can be flipped all the way to 50. But you'd be dead if that happened. And there's also lots of other cool upgrades. Like if you had Spider-Man's web shooter here, you could have these web tokens on here to show the resources for them. They have 2s on one side and 1s on the other. And also for your hero, you have like tough and stunned tokens to show the different status effects of your character, and there's confused and all that stuff as well. And then also, say you brought out your enhanced reflexes card here. Let's take a look. And they've got really nice component upgrades to mark how many charges you have left on those. I really like the way the acrylic tokens look, and like the graphic design on these is really nice, so I really enjoy that a lot. And it just makes the game feel more thematic as you're playing it. And stuff like the super special touches like Hawkeye here, there's special tokens that you can put for the arrows for Hawkeye, because Hawkeye gets to deal damage to opponents as they come out of the deck. And then you also have this gigantic board here for like setting up for the villain that you're facing off against. And of course you can track hit points here, and like with Norman Osborn, there's things that are even more thematic, because you can put on the different tokens here for like the whole state of madness and such. As he switches over in between the two different things, he can have more or less of these tokens. And of course you've got ones for the other side of the token as well. It just makes it feel very unique to the Green Goblin. And then when you play like webbed up and stuff like that, you can put a webbed up token up here on it. And then of course after he attacks, then he'd be stunned, and if he attacks again, then the token will go away. This kind of helps you manage the game as you're playing. Of course you have the little main scheme over here, and then of course if more side schemes come out, you can end up popping those onto the side of the board and things like that, and expanding the board as the game goes along, and more threats come out as you're playing the game. I feel like this can really give you a immersive game of Marvel Champions and let you have all sorts of cool stuff for your Marvel Champions game. There's all sorts of interesting tokens that just make the game look great. And that is from Buy the Same Token. So hopefully you enjoyed this segment, and this is all sorts of ways to make your game more immersive, and all this stuff's going to be going in the Dice Tower library. If you're interested in having your components featured or be put in the Dice Tower library, make sure to email tombassel@gmail.com, and thanks for checking out the segment.
Hey there everyone, it's Jen, the board game librarian, flipping some pages and pushing some cubes with my segment From the Page to the Table. I'm going to take a look this week at a book I just finished for book club at work, and that is Colson Whitehead's The Underground Railroad. Published in 2016, this was an automatic success when it came out. It was one of Oprah's book club picks, won the Pulitzer Prize, a National Book Award winner. This book has magical realism where it presents the Underground Railroad as an actual railroad. We have a spirited and lovable heroine here where through moments of deep horror, deep sadness, and deep intensity, we feel lots of hope. Interviewed this designer before, and I consider him a mentor to me. And of course, it's Freedom, the Underground Railroad by Brian Mayer. Academy Games, 1 to 4 players, 1 to 2 hours. I searched for a long time and thought I was going to do Uncle Tom's Cabin with Freedom, the Underground Railroad, but this book really captures the spirit of Freedom. Freedom is another one of those board games like this book where everyone should play this game at least once. Brian has done a wonderful job taking a game with such a sensitive topic and making it a game that, again, everyone should just play. It's one of those things you have to experience, really. It has some of the best moments in gaming that I've ever had, but also the deepest and saddest moments as well. Happy breakfast. Have you read Underground Railroad? Have you played Freedom, the Underground Railroad? I'd love to hear in the comments below. Happy breakfast.
Hey, it's Dan and Sarah
from Gaming with the People.
And we're here to talk about
Crusaders.
Crusaders. I'm late to this party, but I think it's a really fun game.
So I like to introduce games to Sarah that have some kind of interesting mechanic she's never seen before or a theme. This time it was the rondel. It's the first time we ever played a game with a rondel. You know, you look at the game and you think it's going to be some kind of like battling, area control, you know, cutthroat game, crusading, and it's really not. It's a pretty relaxed game.
Yeah, it's a nice game. I like it. I like the whole wheel thing. I'm not a
rondel.
The rondel. I'm not a huge fan of all the point counting, and I'm very bad at it.
I would spend the beginning of every one of my turns looking at my wife and saying,
"You're beautiful.
You're beautiful, take your points."
Yeah.
If I wasn't such an honorable man, I would have wiped the floor with you. And now you've only played this 2-player. I have played it 3 and 4. There's 2 different sides of the board, which you didn't get B-roll of, so you're not going to see the other side right now. So the map does expand a bit with more players, but it's still such a fast game. I do like the fact that the points act like a countdown system. Depending on the player count, there's a certain number of points in play, and the end of the game is determined by basically when you run out of points.
And you have a fun knight, right? Is he a knight, the guy?
He's a knight, yeah.
And
are you a Templar?
They're all Templar?
Well, the Templar, the Knights Templar.
The card that tells me how many pips I get?
Yeah, your special power.
My special power.
And that's another thing, is asymmetrical, depending on what knight you end up starting with. I do want you to get a shot of like the moving the pegs around.
Oh.
Because that's kind of like the interesting mechanic.
Yeah, no problem.
Get on that.
The rondel. I learned it.
And really, like, this is the only game in our collection. I say my collection.
Well, California's a 50-50 state.
This is the only game in our collection that has a rondel. So it's kind of like,
Is it really? I think we should get more rondels.
There are more rondels out there.
I think we should try it.
Should we just do only rondel games
That's
here on
it.
out?
From here on out, 2020, we're going full
Buckle
circle.
your seatbelts.
It's going to be
every rondel game
ever made.
We're going to be your go-to people for rondel games. Very narrow focus.
Investigation style game, the Sherlock Files elementary entries. Here's what I think of it, coming up. Hi, it's Stella. I'm a fan of escape room, puzzle solving and puzzle deduction style games, but not a very big fan of the Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective because it has a lot of reading and it is a longer game. But in the Sherlock Files, the game is only around 60 to 90 minutes per case. There are 3 cases in the box. It has an interesting mechanics. You work cooperatively with your team, you draw clue cards from common draw deck randomly, and each turn decide to reveal or discard the card. You can only discuss highlighted clues on the cards to others before deciding either to play or discard. The other player then would say what they think based on the cards they have in their hands. The score based on your correct answer, minus the cards you display with irrelevant information to the case. At first I thought not sharing the information fully with your friends is a bit weird, but thematically I think it tries not to waste time with the investigation and turns out to be a good mechanic. It is also a memory game. When you discard something, you can then discuss it openly at the end of the game before you try to guess the answer. I think this might be the best Sherlock Holmes games I've played. Although I'm not that good with my memory, it's fun to try to deduce the answer from the information combined, deduce, and ignore the red herrings, and it encourages a lot of talks between players. Well, thanks for watching. We are on the Dutch Tower How to Play videos and Meeple University on YouTube. See you next time.
And that's it for another live board game breakfast. Thanks for joining us. Later on today at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, you'll see Rado from Rado Runs Through and me argue over the top 10 influential games from the last decade. Or maybe we don't argue. Maybe we agree on all of them. So come back and watch and see.
Love it.
We have some winners for our game from Mythic Games here, Steam Watchers. 2 winners will be contacting you. Everyone else, go back the game. Link in the description below. One is Nathan D. Book. And the other is Jerome Ostrom. You know who you are.
I hope there's not 2 Jeromes out there who have very similar last names.
We'll be emailing you about it anyway.
Congratulations!
Thank you guys, and congratulations.
Bon, bon, bon.
And those 2 guys won twice. They won the game of 20 questions and this.
I know. One of those 2 is a more fulfilling victory, though.
We have a live playthrough tomorrow, too, so we'll come back and see us. Capes and Crusaders tomorrow morning. And until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia.
You've been watching Board Game Breakfast.
Bye.